Hey guys, Chad and Kim. What is today? Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday. Got up this morning. We said, hey, let's go to Destin. Let's go check out thrift shops, any yard sales that we see on the way. Look at that awesome bicycle.
Yeah, I see it.
Wow. I haven't found anything. She found a chew toy.
Well,
for the
it's
dog.
actually not a chew toy. It's a big stuffed animal, but that our dog,
Mac drags them around.
he thinks they're his babies. So when we go out thrifting, he's got a million, but I always have to get him a new one. But
Yeah.
anyway.
No, but Kim was in one store and I got done early and I'm like, no, this store sucks. I'm going to go wait in the car. And I just got to thinking of, how lucky, I'm going to say I am. I'm going to say how lucky I am to have, a wife that loves me, healthy family. I'm living where I want to live. And, I got to thinking, it's like, there's a couple recent instances that caused me to start thinking this. And I'll get to my point here after I jab a little bit. But, no, one of the instances is the Short family. They've got a couple different YouTube channels. The one YouTube channel is called The Remedy, where they talked about circumstances that
Led them.
that really didn't force them, but they took advantage of the circumstances to finally do what they've always wanted to do, and that's to relocate. Unfortunately, it was out of Florida because Florida's awesome. But yeah, they relocated from Florida to Tennessee. And, if I lived in Florida my whole life, maybe I'd be wanting to get out.
Yeah.
But no, and they talk about their little situation, and they videotape the horrible trip with everything breaking on them and their moving truck breaking down. But they didn't seem discouraged. I mean, they were still positive, and they're finally doing what they wanted to do. And the other thing was Pete, the Craigslist hunter, put out a very short video talking about, why do you love what you do? What makes you, what do you love about working for yourself? Huh?
Oh no, what motivates you to?
Yeah. And I was just thinking, it's like, man. And I know so many people hearing this will say, you just don't understand. But trust me, we've been literally at every level in life, as far as rock bottom, looking, how are we ever going to pay this or something like that. But what I'm saying is,
No matter where you're at.
Yeah.
In that process of life.
Yeah, you are your own obstacle. Don't let situations dictate, what you're going to do or how you're going to do it. Now, they can influence, but, some people are talking about, where would you want to live and be a thrifter? A lot of people are saying Florida, or I'd like to move here. And so many I've seen say, oh, there is just no way. There is just no way. With that mindset, go ahead, honey. I know you want to say something.
No, I was just going to say that, yeah, with that thinking, yeah, you're right. There's no way it's ever going to happen. But you have to at least take steps. If that's something that you really want to do, why not do it?
Why not do it?
Yeah, why not do it? But the only thing that's holding you back is you.
Yeah, and you can't say, well, it's my finances holding me back, or it's my kids are in this school that's holding me back, or those are excuses, okay?
There are some circumstances, maybe health reasons or something like that.
Sure.
That would be a completely justifiable reason not to be able to pick up and move. But my thinking on this whole thing is, you get one life.
Yep.
Get one shot at this. So what are you waiting for? And
you don't want to look back and say,
I regret.
Man, I wish I would have done that. Everybody talks about these bucket lists, why? And they're 60, 70, 80-year-old people that are finally like, oh my gosh, I never got to do this. I want to do this before I die. And it's like, if you ask them, they're gonna say, yeah, I should have did it then. If you have an itch, okay, scratch it. Go out and do it. If you're thinking,
I have an example.
okay,
I didn't mean to interrupt, but a perfect example in my personal life of this is whenever Chad and I first got married, we had the boys. I've always been a stay-at-home mom. I've always had this desire, and along the way, there's been many times where this has come to fruition, but in a different way. But I've always had this desire, Chad being military, I've had this desire to help military families as far as counseling and you know, when the boys were little, there was no way that I could do it. And I say that looking back now because financially, I mean, so many different things came against me. But
I would say you could.
That's what I was going to say. If I look back now and look at all of the reasonings that I had for not doing it, it was doable. I could have gotten grants. I could have, you know, I just wasn't educated enough to know that I could have done it, you know? But when we got, I don't know, when I got to the point in life where I was like, okay, I'm not getting any younger. What am I waiting for? Because that is one of my goals. I want to be a licensed clinical social worker. That is why I'm working on my master's. To do that, I want to help military families, you know, counseling, whatever. That's a good example.
Yeah.
But I could have done it. I could have started years ago, and that's something I can't really say I regret it, because I don't regret. I was always with the boys. I didn't miss anything, you know, as far as with them growing up, and so I don't really regret it. But that's an example. I mean, it's something I don't know. Yeah,
and you know, we're so happy with our situation now. You know, we're living in Florida. We have spent our whole lives in Indiana, and we'd always said when the boys graduate high school, we want to move to Florida. I mean, because we'd always said that it's just what we wanted to do. Now, the boys graduating high school was that excuse that we're talking about.
Right.
I mean, and you can plan for something, but
well, the reason we said when they graduate high school is because we were not going to rip them out of their sports teams and, you know, all of that stuff, which would have been, I think, selfish on our part. I mean, so
yeah,
that's why we waited for that.
And that's okay, but if okay, I guess what I'm saying is, if you hate the situation you're in, I mean, I think that would, if you hate the situation you're in,
if you're miserable,
yeah, if you hate where you're living, if you hate, you know, the job you're in, man,
make a change.
I've seen so many people just say, you know, I'm just stuck. I can't, there's just no way. There's just no way. And I'm thinking,
start taking steps and making a way. You have to,
I mean, you know what our step was? Our step was, we came on vacation to Florida. We were down here. It's like, this is the time. Let's just do it.
And we literally started looking at houses.
Yep.
Then.
And that was down in Daytona. And then we came back. We were kind of disgruntled. And it's like, well, that sucked.
Well, we were kind of discouraged because we couldn't find a house.
Yeah.
You know, we could find apartments or condos, but we wanted a house.
Yep.
So we came home. Well, I say home, back to Indiana for 2 weeks.
What? No, it wasn't even 2 weeks, was it?
Was it a week or
I
2
think
weeks?
it was like less than a week.
It was a week.
And then we're like, screw this.
Well, and then Chad and I went back down and came to this area, the Destin, Fort Walton area, which is where we always went on vacation when the boys were growing up. So, and then we started looking for a house. We actually found a house right then.
And then we went back to Indiana and moved within a couple weeks, yeah. And it's like, that's it.
And we did it all ourselves. We did not have movers or, no.
It's, how bad do you want it? It's like, how bad do you want to get out of the situation you're in?
Well, especially if you're miserable and your frame
I hated
of
Indiana.
Mind,
I hated it. Ugh.
Your frame of mind, You know, could be, but I'm stuck. Well, you're the only one that can get you unstuck.
Yep. And waiting to hit that lottery is not going to do it.
No. I mean, you have to be realistic.
Well, and also, I mean, I don't think we're not, okay, so many people are afraid to start over. And sometimes starting over can be so refreshing. If you have nothing, we literally sold off everything we had up in Indiana.
Yeah, we literally emptied our house. I mean, all the big furniture except our beds. We all kept our beds, of course, but pretty much all of everything, because we wanted a fresh start. We wanted to, and it gives you, it puts you in a different mindset. Just the newness of, and the thing is, we didn't know anybody down here.
We still don't.
And well, yeah, we do.
2 years later.
But listen,
no, we have.
We completely, I think as a family, especially that first 6 or 8 months that we were here, got so much closer, you know, the four of us in that time, because that's all we had. I mean, the boys have friends and jobs and stuff now, but I don't know. It's just, there's something inspiring, I think. I don't know. Is that the word?
It is. And you know something? So many people told us, oh, just wait a year. You're going to be begging to come back. I tell you what, I love it just as much now.
If not more than I did.
Yeah.
And if I had to, if I was forced, we'll just say it that way, to move out of Florida, I would not move back to Indiana.
No. The weather is hard. No. Man, when you've had a taste of paradise, it's like, it's like this, guys. You know, when you go on vacation, this is how she used to be. Every time she would cry the last 2 days we're there because she didn't want to go home.
I spent the last 2 days, I'm not kidding, remember that?
She would always cry because she just loved it so much when we were on vacation.
I would cry. I would get sick to my stomach that it was time to go home. Yeah. You know, back to reality, back to what we, you know, the mundane, I don't want to go back, you know.
You know,
and finally we were both like, why?
Let's live our life the way we want to live it.
And who cares what other people think? Because you're always going to have those people, those family members or those negative friends who say, you won't last there. You won't, you know. And so what? I mean, step out and find out.
There is nothing wrong with failing, but guess what? You will have a great time. If you're doing something that you want to do, if you're doing something that's like, I want to do this, you know, if you're like, I want to travel the country in an RV, okay? That's what I really want to do. Well, guess what? You get an RV. Who gives a crap if it's a $2,500 RV? It looks nasty, it looks gross, but it runs. You know, you can do what you want to do. And you have a great time. You're like, you started in New York and you're in, I don't know, Kansas, and the RV breaks down and you have to get a bus. You have to get a bus back to the house. Guess what?
Look at it like an adventure.
You just had an awesome time.
It's a journey. I mean, make the most of it.
Yeah.
It's not all been easy since we've moved here. You know, I mean, there have been times where, not that we've doubted moving here, but I'm saying other things, you know, that come up, whether it be death of a family member. We've had that with my dad. I mean, there have been tough times where we have been forced to go back to Indiana. But even, I don't know.
And that's just rolling with the punches. And, you know, that's the stuff that we're always talking about. It's life and stuff like that.
Make the most of it.
Yeah.
You've got to...
Man, when you see us, I mean, I hope we come off as happy people, because we really are happy people. That's not some show or
the people
anything.
That have met us and know us, I mean,
it's true. It's genuine. We love it. We haven't found crap today, and that sucks. But you know something? Who cares? We're just out. It's beautiful. We took the side thing to drive along the ocean. So. And
I got out and listened to the waves for a little bit, because that's my favorite thing. I love to hear and see the ocean. I've always been like that.
So if you don't love, if you do love seeing and hearing the ocean, and you live in a state that's landlocked,
you need need to go somewhere
then
where
you
there's
need
an
to
ocean.
go somewhere where there's an ocean.
That
And-
is my happy place, and you need to find yours and go there.
Yeah.
That is my advice to
Sure,
anyone.
there's contributing factors as why maybe you can't do it at the moment or something like that, but to use it, to continuously
to
use it,
to set a goal or something.
yeah, there's a responsible way to do it, and you are your own obstacle in so many things. It's like, oh, when you don't understand or know your own potential, you have a habit of not giving yourself enough credit for what you can achieve in life. And man, I don't know, I'm just super, I love it. I love it.
Well, and we want everyone to experience that. You know what it like with us. We're not getting any younger.
You know,
so-
and we're not sitting there saying, "Oh, look at us."
No.
No, it's nothing like that.
No.
It's that mindset. If you can get past if you hate the situation you're in, or you just don't like it, or you're complacent and you don't feel like you're going anywhere, do something you want to do. And you know, there's a ton of folks out there that talk about, you know, when's the right time to quit your job, to get into this full time and stuff like that.
Well, that depends on your situation.
It just
I mean,
depends, but
you-
don't let your situation dictate your spunkiness, your motivation to do something. Let your motivation dictate your situation, because trust me, if it's like that, if you let your situation dictate your motivation, you're going to be complacent. If you let your motivation dictate your situation, you're going to work to alleviate the situation and get to where you want to go. So I just try to keep that in mind, and I hope you got something out of that. I know I talk in circles and stuff, but
yeah, we
I
ramble.
hope the idea is there.
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We're at the store, so I gotta go in.
Yeah.
I
Well,
gotta
do you want
beat
to say
ya.
goodbye?
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
20 minutes of just
Oh, good
blah
grief,
blah blah.
us blabbing.
Yeah.
You blabbing. Huh.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Yeah. Just think about it.
Yep.
You know.
All right, guys.
See ya.
See ya.